What up guys, it's Dragon Ball for Life here today, and I'm back with another video. Now today's video we're going to be talking about the controversy with the Hogwarts Legacy game. Now, if I'm being honest, this controversy is pretty stupid, and the reasons for why it's, even here is very dumb, and it kind of annoys me. I wasn't going to make a video on this, but I heard a little bit about this today, and I heard some complaints, and I heard apparently that there's a lot of trans activists trying to boycott not only the game and review bomb it, but also now they're saying that streamers on Twitch that are uploading live streams of this game, they're going to be boycotting them, and they're harassing them and shit. And when I heard that, I was just like, oh my god, really, this bullshit? And it's no surprise in this modern day and age with, the woke culture and, how there's these woke communities, the feminist community, the gay community, all these other communities. And whenever they get offended, they go crazy. They get to the point where like, well, you agree with somebody or like something of somebody's that, went against my beliefs or offended me and my people, and that means that you're an enemy, and if you want to be an ally, you have to be on my side completely and denounce 100% this person. In this case, J.K. Rowling, because apparently she's a TERF. And if you guys don't know what that means, it basically means, a feminist that's against trans people. Because there's just the regular term transphobic. But when you're a feminist who's transphobic, you're considered a TERF because you're on the woke side, but you're not on their woke side as much. So it's like, you're riding the woke wave, but not fully. And she was doing that a lot in the, newer, like, stories that she was coming out with, like, what's the thing called? Dumbledore is gay and all this other stuff. And they were supporting it until she said, trans women are not, actual women because they can't, ovulate and they can't have periods, so they can't deal with, what we've struggled with. So that happened, and then the trans community got mad and said, hey, you're a TERF for that. You're, transphobic and stuff. And I'm not here to say if she is or she isn't. Personally, I just view it as a difference of an opinion and belief, and that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And if you do have a problem with that, that's fine also. If you say that, hey, that's wrong or problematic or ignorant, go ahead, but don't try to boycott the person. Don't try to ruin their career and take away something that they worked for because you don't like what they said. Now, if she was actively just harassing them and attacking them, belittling them, saying fucked up things about them, I understand that, but she disagreed with the stance, and there's okay to have discourse and disagreement, but obviously when it comes to the liberals, when it comes to woke people, when it comes to definitely the gay community, they have a tight hold on beliefs. You're not allowed to believe anything else that disagrees with their beliefs, or you're gonna be screwed. And it's just an ignorant and childish mindset, and it's a very bitch made mindset, if I'm being honest. Back in the day, and I'm not that old, but back in the day, if you were to come in with this type of energy, you would get slapped around and, made fun of. And I think we should bring that back, where people who bitch about stuff like that should be, for me, if it was me personally, I would tell them, shut the fuck up and stop crying, you little pussy. Nobody gives a shit. Cry to somebody else, nobody cares. But for some reason, we took, people's complaints and crying so seriously to the point that we're just, following whatever complaint any community wants. And it's fine to have your, animosity towards it or anger towards it, but you can't just stop them. And they gone to such ridiculous lengths to boycott her stories, the movies, and then the Harry Potter cast. When they had their reunion, she was apparently not invited, even though she's the creator, and all the other actors in the film were like calling her out on it. Emma Watson, Daniel Radcliffe, I forgot what the name of the guy's name for Ron. I think his name's something Ruth or something like that. It's something with an R. But they all got mad and denounced her and said, hey, you can't say this and that. And personally, I feel like that's bullshit. That's her creation. You guys wouldn't have this career if it wasn't for her. You should be appreciative towards her for what she gave you. And like I said, if you disagree with her opinion, go ahead, that's fine. But the problem with for me is, it's not like she said anything wild. She was not attacking them. She was not trying to belittle them. She was not trying to, mock them. She wasn't doing anything too crazy. She just had a different opinion, and they got too offended and butthurt, and then they're like, oh, she's a TERF and stuff like that. And personally, I was like, here's the thing. Well, on one hand, I'm like, she kind of deserved it because she was leaning into that woke bullshit, and when you lean into woke stuff, you're gonna tend to be in a situation where they expect you to 100% be woke now, and if you're not, you're kind of screwed. You put yourself in that situation. But also on the other hand, I feel like it's just so harsh and strict. What you can't have this difference of opinion, and it's like you're a bitch made for that. Like if you can't accept somebody else's opinion different than yours to the point where you're gonna cancel them or they're gonna get in trouble. I do think you have some mental problem where you're just you just can't handle life, and if that's the case, I don't know how you're gonna deal with personal stuff if you can't handle somebody else's different opinion. So I think it's just dumb. But they went even more extreme to the point that they want to boycott this game, which it's not even directly tied to her. Yes, she might get some money from it, obviously because it's her IP. But the game developers that are making this are not J.K. Rowling. So you're screwing over these game developers that spend years to make this. You're trying to screw over these fans because they like it, review bombing it, telling them they can't do it. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because the streamers that were trying to stream this on Twitch, and I don't like Twitch streamers. I think they're dickheads. I think most of them are, selfish idiots. But even with that being said, I don't think you have the right to tell them what they can do and can't do, especially if they're not doing anything wrong. They're just playing a game. To tell them to boycott it, it's just too serious. And it's because it's by a creator that's transphobic, but it's like the developers that made it aren't. Like, it's just so stupid. And for me personally, it's like here's the thing. They say this, but there's far worse things out there that are like people that have created something that's been supported. Like for example, there's pedophiles, there's murders, there's abusers who have music, movies, and other games and all these other things that they're in, and you guys supported. For example, like when it comes to music, R. Kelly's had countless songs, but people weren't really boycotting it. Yes, there were some people. Personally, I was never a really big fan of R. Kelly, but I could definitely tell he was musically talented and had good music. But I didn't listen to it because I was like, man, this guy's gonna get the money, and he's a fucking pedo, and he's an abuser, and he's obviously sexist. So I was like, I don't want to support that type of person, but I'm not gonna go after anybody who does. But still, like, there's people who are like that who've done really fucked up shit. All she did was disagree with your side, and you're saying you're treating this like you're taking this that serious. If you really cared about being really fighting for justice, you would be more against pedophiles having their own like movies and stuff, like Kevin Spacey. You would have boycotted like House of Cards or anything with him in it, or anything, because there's countless celebrities out there that artists and celebrities out there that have done fucked up shit that have some form of body of work out there that people are supporting. But you don't seem to have a problem with that. You seem to have a problem with the turf, but not with the fucking pedo. There's far worse things. And if you're gonna be acting like that, you should also call out Nike, who does sweatshops, who has like basically slavery, or Apple, or these other companies, because they do this like even more immoral shit. So if you want to talk about morality and fighting for justice, and you're only fighting for this because it's against trans people because you're trans, which I can understand. But then there's other things out there and people who made other things that are supported, that are far worse. They have actually done horrible things, but you're not against that. You haven't called it out. Not saying you support it, but you're not calling it out and have this much, hatred towards it. If I'm being honest, I might not like some certain stuff, like, some people that did that, but even I can't 100% say that I will boycott it, because I don't like what Nike's doing, I don't like what Apple's doing, but I have an Apple phone, I have Nike shoes. I can't, you can't just completely get rid of it, and you can't expect everybody else to. If somebody does, good on them, congratulations. If not, don't shit on them for that. And that's the problem I just have with this. I think that they're going too crazy with it, and like I said, I understand, but still, you're being a little too salty. You need to dial it back a little and keep your emotions in check. And I don't think this is the entire trans community that's acting this way. There's definitely some, but even so, nobody should have been acting this way and review bombing it, because I heard people saying this game is bad before, and I was like, there's nothing wrong with it. And I was like, oh, this is the only reason. It's just so dumb. It's like, it's dumb enough to, go after the game and then go after, the developers. Now you're going after people just playing it and streaming it. And for me, if it was me, I would just been like, you know what, you all can suck my dick. I don't give a shit. I'm going to play this game. You guys can't tell me what not to play. Because if that's the case, then there's a lot of artists, there's a lot of movies, there's a lot of songs, there's a lot of, products out there that we shouldn't be supporting and we should have gone after. But you're going after this because she was transphobic or whatever. It's just, like I said, it's just a joke at this point, and I'm pretty sure all of us are done with the woke bullshit. I'm sick and tired of like listening to people complain on Twitter and stuff, saying this is that, and then us listening to it like, why? What's the point? But yeah, the Hogwarts Legacy game is an amazing game from what I'm seeing. It's breaking record sales, which is great. I hope it does very successful to basically spite those who are acting like little bitches, because they need to learn in life that you can't have everything going your way. You can, because there's so many people that have been canceled for this type of stuff and lost everything, and they feel like they can do whatever they want. But by this game, succeeding and nobody giving a fuck, it proves to them that you can't just bitch online and say this is problematic or that's problematic and then get rid of it because you don't like something. You have to accept the reality that, not everything goes your way, and that's just how it is. And you don't have to like something, but you have to accept that, you can't stop it. And by them doing this, all they're doing is, making people want to buy the game more. And I don't see anything wrong with wanting to buy it. If you don't want to play it and you want to boycott it, go ahead, that's fine. But don't be getting that on somebody that does want to play it. And then there's like other streamers that say that they're not gonna do it because they've already leaned into that woke bullshit. Like I don't know if you guys know, because this is mainly a Dragon Ball / anime / geeky channel. But have you guys heard of, Hassan Piker, who has, Hasanabi and all this other stuff? He's a big Twitch streamer, and he plays games, and he says he's not going to play this. But his reasoning was, and he explained was, it wasn't because he didn't want the game. He wanted to do it and play with other streamers, but it was that he's a part of, he's an ally to the trans community, and he's a part of the woke, community, and he's leaned into those audience, and now he knows that if he does this, his audience is going to turn on him. So he's in a situation where I can't go against it, which for me personally, I think that he kind of deserves it since he chose that side. If you're going to choose that side, just like J.K. Rowling, you're going to have to suffer the consequences because they get nuts over there. But even with that being said, I still don't think it's fair to do that. I don't think he should have to stop it because his, community would go after him. I think they should be understanding enough to say, hey, look, I don't agree with your decision, but it's you can do whatever you want. There's nothing wrong. It's not like you're supporting actual horrible people that have done heinous things. Which, like I said, if that's the case, if they're against that, then I better not see no goddamn Nike shoes on them, no fucking iPhones, no fucking electric cars with those lithium batteries that they go to fucking Africa and have these poor ass people fucking mining for this deadly shit and getting them killed. I don't want to see you supporting none of that fuck shit. If you won't support, if you're not supporting something that is a part of somebody that's a transphobe, then you shouldn't be supporting shit that's a part of slavery, a part of manual labor, extreme manual labor, and taking advantage of kids and shit, and all this fucked up stuff. Because there's more fucked up things that you can call out, but you're calling out this, which isn't that bad. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for next time.